Local universe, one intelligence. An essay by James Mahu. Question. You write a lot about the local universe, and I'm not sure if you have a comprehensive description or definition, but could you explain it? Help me understand why it is important, because I feel it is, but I don't feel I understand it. Answer. Each life form has a local universe that contains their presence in the present moment. That is the local universe, and it is exquisitely private, subjective, unique, and sovereign. There is not another one exactly the same. This is why the universe is infinite. It possesses infinite life forms, and each life form is its own universe. This sovereign, local universe that is ours overlaps with others. This overlap can be a family or social group, a business or a community. It can even be outside of our species. If we have a cat, that cat possesses its own local universe. If we have a plant or tree, it possesses its own local universe, and if it is in ours, we are in theirs. We have an overlap. Every local universe is connected at one point that is the same in every local universe. This is to say that the infinite is connected to the finite at that point, and it is the infinite that is actually experiencing that finite lens of a cat, a tree, a human, or any other life form. It is the infinite, embodied in the finite, that creates our local universe. The infinite is animating the finite, and yet the finite cannot even imagine the infinite. This is the primary paradox that rules our local universe, and it is also the challenge that is laid before each of us, to identify and understand this paradox. We can awaken in one moment and understand this to the point where we choose to create our local universe in partnership with the finite and infinite self. In doing so, our local universe becomes more aligned with our infinite self. It is this choice to align with the infinite self, and the consequent behavioral coherence that accompanies it, that gives rise to our local universe evolving into a reflection of the infinite, of its scale, and of its intelligence of love and interconnectedness. All other local universes are understood to be a part of the collective lens of a singular intelligence that is one and all. It lives in both states simultaneously. It is one infinite consciousness living through all finite local universes. This one consciousness is the experiencer of all local universes, and it is centered as a planet, in this case, Earth. This same consciousness extends to its solar system, the galaxy, the universe, and the multiverse of dimensions too numerous to count. The local universe of a single entity is not confined to the physical dimension. It is not confined at all. The consciousness has simply been tuned to sense and respond to the physical environment in which it is born, but its presence, the sovereign or infinite self, is that point of interconnection to the one and all. The infinite self transcends dimensions. It moves between dimensions, and so, our local universe is created as a result of what our beliefs are. Because the local universe is purely subjective, everything is a belief. There is no concept, condition, action, or vision that is not a result of a belief. And if it is a belief, it is subjective. Therefore, every living thing lives in a subjectivity that is created through the function of beliefs. Humans have the greatest number of beliefs. The diversity is unimaginable. For the purpose of an example, let's say a raven has 50 beliefs, a houseplant has 25, an ant has 15, a whale has 200, a chimpanzee has 150, and a human has 22,000. In this example, the more beliefs an entity has, the more they are creating a subjective local universe. The fewer beliefs, the fewer versions of subjectivity in a species. As sentience and intelligence co-evolve, our local universe becomes increasingly complex and sensitized to space-time duality. We do not evolve as an infinite self, we evolve as a finite self. The infinite self is from whom the creation of evolution through spacetime came into existence. It transcends evolution and spacetime. The finite is the only aspect that evolves, but the finite contains not just the physical body, but also the feeling and emotional centers, as well as the mental and spiritual belief systems we have fabricated. That combination of the finite is what evolves. The presence that is always existent, that was never created nor given birth, that presence is the true creator and sustainer of our local universe, and it is not static. It is exceedingly dynamic, flowing between dimensions and lifetimes like threads of light in a fabric without end. Our local universe contains all of that. It is truly a matter of where our attention is and what our beliefs are. Do we want to flow between dimensions to understand their unique qualities and vibrations as different lenses for our infinite self to observe space-time duality? Is that what we want? Enabling this presence to express itself in our local universe as both a co-creator and the created, is that why we awaken? This is why the choice of belief is the system that awakens us, motivates us to align with our infinite self. It is not a book, person, religion, mantra, or practice of discipline. It is our choice of beliefs. It always has been and always will be. This choice is not about choosing the right teacher, sage, guru, master, or anything else. We are not inviting our infinite self into our finite world to change anything, including ourselves. We are doing this because it is natural. It is who we are, and we all know it at some level, but it's hard to balance these two worlds and identities, finite and infinite. They are insoluble. How can two things as insoluble as finite and infinite become aligned partners? This is the part of our local universe that is so fundamental, and that is the part where we are interconnected, not because of our proximity in space-time, but because unconditional love is the one point within our local universe that connects us, across species, dimensions, and space-time. This is difficult to bring into our local universe, anchor it here, and evolve its expression so that it speaks to us, not merely of the mind, but also of the heart. It shows us the balance between who we are as a finite self and who we are as an infinite self. We can imagine it being a partnership. We can begin to see its expression within us and through us. It takes time, and during that course of time, we need to be understanding to ourselves, attentive to our doubts and self-judgments, and to apply the balm of unconditional love and kindness to ourselves and our local universe. If you haven't yet gathered from this essay, let me be clear, the distinction between ourselves and our local universe is moot. And this is true for every life form in spacetime. While we are part of a planetary consciousness, we are not contained by it. The planet is an infinite self, too. It is a fractal part of the broader universe that is a fractal part of the multiverse and beyond. This is the local universe we all share. The one we exist in always and forever. Every single thing is part of the one thing. And the one thing is part of every single thing. It is the covenant between the infinite and the finite that the finite will never be left in the finite. And yet, there are many beliefs that we are finite beings in a finite world. That we are the culmination of stardust combusted into a temporal human body who unavoidably lives a single life. These beliefs are perfectly valid. As valid as those beliefs that we are sovereign, infinite beings, expressed through human bodies, animal bodies, plant bodies, interdimensional bodies, and extraterrestrial bodies. The body is the clothing of the soul. Consciousness, the one, many, and all consciousness, is a belief, no different from the belief in one life, one body, you only live once. They are both beliefs, yet they are so formative that they can create different local universes. Different behaviors. Different choices. Different experiences. Different values. However, they can both be ethical and express unconditional love. One is not held in higher esteem than the other, as long as both beliefs express unconditional love and kindness. That is the key, is it not? Thus, it is always the behavior that matters. And it is always our choice of beliefs that beget our behaviors, and our behaviors our beliefs. This is the cycle of coevolution between the finite sovereign and their local universe, regardless of life form and space-time. The infinite, as a collective of the one and all, evolves in understanding and insight. This evolution is directed toward the evolution of intelligence related to the concept of unconditional love in finite, space-time dualities. It is as if there is an enormous cycle of energy that goes from the one intelligence into the many species, and through this filter, emerges into a sovereign life form within the constraints of space-time duality. We are that one intelligence expressed in a local universe of our sovereign will. Our beliefs become our expression and creative tools. Our behaviors become the created expression of our beliefs. And the two, behaviors and beliefs, become the engine to create our interface with space-time duality. It is not intention, inclination, motive, ambition, love, dedication, or anything else that affects our local universe in terms of experience. It is our beliefs and behaviors. Our beliefs and behaviors are fundamental. They are where our novelty occurs. They are the causal force that interpenetrates everything we experience and do. And our local universe expresses this in a unique way. This unique way is our infinite self experiencing its beliefs and behaviors as a finite self on behalf of the one intelligence. It is the thread of interconnection. The creator is the created, and the created evolves its understanding through space-time duality, that it is the creator. It is the local universe that brings, confounds, or repels this understanding. This is why it is so important to understand our local universe.